welcome to Arnava Yoga Studio. I'm Kat, for those of you who haven't come and done one of our videos before. I don't know why I've just said good afternoon, actually thinking about it, because you might be doing this in the morning, but hey ho, welcome along. So for today, this is a nice, gentle, relaxing yoga flow. Great if you're new to yoga, but also if you are used to yoga, but perhaps you're not feeling 100% today, or you're just aware you need to have a much gentler stretch than your normal practice. This is a nice one to have a go at. If you are very familiar with yoga, and as we work through some of the postures, you are aware of how yourself you could take it a little bit deeper, then by all means, if you want to make it a deeper practice, make it a deeper practice. But sometimes it's really good, we need to take that little bit of time to wind down and just give ourselves a bit of an easier time. Okay, so no props unless you want to grab yourself a cushion. It can just make life a little bit easier for popping underneath your bottom or your head or your back or wherever. Just for giving yourself a little bit of support, particularly if you're not used to sitting on the floor. Just lifting those hips a little bit higher can make life feel just a little bit easier. So when you're ready, we're just going to come round to lying on your back, just to start taking a few deep breaths in. So just finding a comfortable position to lie in. If you want to take that cushion and just take it underneath your head, you can, or leave it by your side, wherever feels comfortable. Bend the knees. And we're going to use our bent knees, the position of the feet, to help relax the back. So with that little bend in the knees, it just takes a little bit of the pressure out of the back. And the feet then are coming nice and wide. Close your eyes, letting your hands rest on your belly. So your thumbs are on your belly button, fingers spread just underneath. That can help with the breathing. Or if it feels comfortable, just let your hands relax to the side. Just let your hands fall away from the body out to the side of the mat. And we're just going to start to try and let any stress or tension that we've been holding or collecting over the past couple of days melt away. Seeing if you can feel it perhaps melting away from the body. Perhaps there's a little bit of tension around the shoulders and the neck or the lower back. Maybe you can start that process of letting it go now. If you're aware of perhaps stressful thoughts, tense thoughts that are going around the head, just put them in a box and then put that box outside the room for a little bit. And every time they start to creep back in, just firmly put them back in that box again, and put that box outside the room. All of that stuff will be there later in that box outside the room if you need to come back to it. And then we're going to start to follow the breathing. So we don't need to manage it or control it in any way to start. Just simply letting the breath come and go. Noticing the inhale, noticing the exhale. And then we're going to start to move towards trying to breathe in and out through the nose. Trying to see then if you can let that breath flow all the way down into the belly. want that breathing to slow right down. So see if you can just start to breathe in, counting to 4. Breathe out, counting to 4. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And then just try and take 3 more breaths, allowing yourself to count in your own time. And then start to just let the counting go, but we're going to keep that breath dropping all the way down into the belly. And give your fingers, your toes a little bit of a wriggle. Perhaps moving the hands, moving the feet, shuffling the feet as you go in towards each other. And then just slide the feet away from you. See if you can float your arms back past your head. Take a big breath in. And then exhaling, bring the knees up towards the chest. Maybe take a little rock with the knees from side to side. And then when you're ready, we're just going to roll onto your left hand side. So you can keep your eyes closed just for a little bit longer. And push yourself up to sitting. So if you need to grab that cushion then now to pop it underneath your hips, we're just going to grab that cushion, pop it underneath your hips. Bring your hands together and rub your hands. Create some bit of energy, some warmth through the hands. And we're going to take the hands over the eyes, so just popping the palms over the eyes. See if you can just feel that warmth, that energy from the hands. Opening the eyes behind the hands and then take the hands down onto your knees. So we're going to stay in that position, sitting on the floor a little bit longer. If it doesn't feel quite comfortable, just change yourself so that you're in a comfortable position. So you could have the hips lifted. You could even take your legs out somewhere in front if that feels better. And then just take some nice big shoulder rolls. Breathing in as the shoulders come up. Exhaling as you let them relax. So we're going to take one more roll with the shoulders. And then taking the left hand down to the floor, take the right arm up and exhale, just let the right ear fall to the right shoulder. Taking a breath or two in here as you feel that stretch. Come through the neck, come through the shoulder, and then exhale, tilt the head, keeping it tilted to the side, but we're just going to drop the chin to the chest. So just getting a little stretch towards the back of the neck now. And then release the head. We're going to take the right hand to the floor, bring the left hand up and over, and then we're going to do exactly the same. So exhale, tilt the left ear to the left shoulder. So perhaps you notice already there's a little bit of a difference between the sides. Maybe one side feels a little bit tighter than the other. And then exhale, roll the chin forwards. So all we do is observe the difference at this time. Don't need to worry or be concerned about it at the moment. Just store that knowledge away to think about it later on. And then come all the way back into the middle with the head. And then we're going to bring ourselves around onto our hands and knees. So the knees are under the shoulders, hands, palms, fingers spreading out, or the knees into the hips and the hands are spreading out under the shoulders. And as you exhale, round up through the back so you come into cat. Inhale, tilt the Tailbone up to the ceiling. Pull the shoulders back as you come through to cow. So exhale, round. Inhale, stretch through the front as you dip the front of the chest towards the floor. And we keep the arms strong, the hands pressing down into the mat. So the shoulders can move backwards and forwards through across the ribs. So just do that 2 more times either way. And coming back then into the middle, tuck the right toes under, slide the toes behind you. Just take a little rock through the feet, starting to stretch through that right leg. And then if you're feeling that one of you want to work just a little bit harder, build up a little bit of warmth or strength through the core, pull the belly button in, take the right leg up. So holding it just for a moment. And then from wherever that leg is now, we're going to exhale. Pull that right foot all the way through to the front of the mat. So we're coming into our low lunge. Hands are just on the inside of the feet. And you could take a little gentle rock forwards and backwards, maybe side to side, as you ease those hips into that lunge position. Tucking the toes under of the back foot. Just press through the toes. That might give you a little stretch through the feet, but that's also just going to help work into that left hip, those left hip flexors just a little bit more. And then inhale, take the hands up onto the right thigh. So no weight, we're not leaning, we're not pressing into the leg, it's just gently resting there. And then exhale, see if you can straighten through the arms. So we're looking a little bit further up and out in front. We're going to notice a stronger stretch then now coming through the left side of the body. So we take those big breaths in, down into the belly. And then release the hands all the way down towards the floor. Shuffle, swing that right foot back behind you, placing both knees underneath the hips. And we're going to exhale, come forwards into our puppy dog. So we just walk, slide the hands out in front. Keep the hips up over the knees, taking the arms down towards the floor. Roll the shoulders away from each other. So try and press the arms into the mat just a little bit as you work into the shoulders. And I'm going to exhale, pull the belly button in just a little bit, just to help straighten out the back. So you want to think of the vertebrae dropping one by one down towards the floor. And then we're going to exhale, just slowly walk ourselves, the hands back in, bringing the hips to the heels, let the head come forwards into child's pose. So this can be a really good place to grab that cushion, maybe just to let the head rest on the cushion, or you could bring it round and pop it in between your hips and your heels. And then just let the back relax here, taking those big breaths in. And then inhale, push yourself back up onto your hands and knees. So coming back into that tabletop position. Tuck the left toes under this time and then exhale, slide the left foot back. Perhaps take a little rock through the left toes again as you start to stretch through that left leg. And then we've got that option of leaving the left foot there, or as you exhale, pulling the belly in, using the core to help lift the left foot just a little way up from the mat. So we don't need to kick up high to the ceiling. Just starting to build a little bit of warmth around that core area here again. And then that left foot wants to come all the way through to the front. So if it helps, you can always just grab the back leg Bring it round, and then see if you can just start to take that lunge position, dropping the hips towards the floor on the other side. So the toes are tucked under on that right foot. Take a little rock again, or perhaps gentle movement forwards and backwards with the hips as you ease your hips into that position. Obviously, if you're used to that lizard pose and you feel good and you want to come all the way down to lizard, you can move into lizard. And then we're going to exhale, bring the hands up onto the left thigh. So again, make sure we're not leaning, we're not pressing, particularly into that knee. And then just straighten through the arms, looking out in front, relax your shoulders. So you might notice a little bit more work into that right side body then now. So if you find the lunge position is just a little bit hard on the balance, if you have got something next to you, perhaps a table or a chair, there's absolutely no reason why you can't just have something on the side, just give you a little bit of extra support with your balance. And then we're taking the hands down, bringing that left foot back round behind you. And this time, we're going to bring ourselves all the way down towards the floor. So exhale to the mat. Bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders and try and keep yourself well stacked with the shoulder and the elbow, because that helps to then lift the chest. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. As you inhale, roll the shoulders back, and maybe you can lift the chest just a little bit higher. No need to kind of be looking up to the ceiling unless you really want to. If that feels comfortable to tilt the chin and the head back, then great. But otherwise, just stay looking out in front. And the legs and the feet are going to feel heavy as you press. Gently press the feet into the floor. So it's really important that you watch there's no pinching in that lower back area. So it's not just a push, a lift back. You want to think of the spine growing and the chest reaching out in front of you to help keep that spine long as it arches here. And then we're going to exhale, release it. Push back into your child's pose again. So just releasing the spine off. Using your cushion for support if you need it. Maybe bringing the hands by the feet this time to let the lower back relax a little bit more. Experiment with rocking here from side to side with the hips, or maybe letting the head roll from side to side. Getting a little bit of a massage with the forehead. And then reaching the arms out in front. We're going to come back into that tabletop position. So we're going to try and push up through into our downward dog position. If you find it's a really strong one on the wrists, then come back into that puppy dog pose, where we just have the hands out in front. And you're just reaching the arms away and trying to let the spine stretch there. Otherwise, if you're feeling good and happy coming on through the hands and the wrists, tuck your toes under. And when you're ready, exhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So sometimes we want to just then take a little bit of movement here. So bending one knee, lifting the heel, then the other. So just pedaling the feet out. You could take some extra movement with the hips or the head. And then when you're ready to see, you can just let both heels come down towards the floor. Don't worry if they don't get there, if there's a little bend in the knees still. We're just doing our best to stretch through the backs of the legs. And then wherever you are, we're going to inhale, take the knees down to the floor, rock the hips back to child's pose. So exhaling then as you allow yourself to relax forwards. And then this time we're going to take a little stretch with the arms. So bring the palms together, elbows reaching out in front, and just point the fingers up towards the ceiling. So we're making like a little shark fin. Then the hands are going to start to move around the back of the head. Reaching the elbows out in front.
Stretching through the underneath of the arms. Inhale, release the hands. Exhale, curl up. Through the spine, just allow your shoulders to relax back again. And then we're going to bring ourselves round to sitting on the floor. So grab that support to under the hips if you need it. So we're going to bring our left foot in and our right foot in front. So we're going to try and sit in a cross-leg position. If that really doesn't work for you, then just try and work with your feet in a loose diamond shape. So we've got the left foot with the right foot in front in our easy seated pose. Just taking the hands down, roll the spine, or the shoulders back and lift the spine. And then as you inhale, take the right arm up, and we're going to exhale, lean over to the left. So breathing nice and deeply here. Inhale, come to the centre. And then as you exhale, twist to the left. See if you can look over the back shoulder. Fingers gently reach into the floor and use those fingers to pull the shoulders down. So from here, we're just going to exhale, walk, slide the fingers out in front and bring your chest towards your left knee. So just come as far as you can without that right buttock, the right sit bone, and lifting up off the floor. And we're going to start to stretch through that right hip, the right lower back. So you might find that this side doesn't really stretch too much, but if you've got a bit of tightness there, you might just start to notice a little bit of work around that right hip. And then as you inhale, sit up. Coming back into the middle, we're going to reach the right arm out in front. So without putting any pressure on that right elbow, just take the right elbow across the body. So you want to keep the arm nice and long, and that right shoulder drop down, so we're not kind of hugging it up in towards the ear. Couple of big breaths in here as we stretch through the right arm, the right shoulder. And then bring that right arm up onto the left shoulder. And we're going to give ourselves a hug with that right arm. So we're just going to gently exhale and push that right arm in towards you. So you feel your right hand, just creeping, sliding down the back of the rib cage. And you might notice the stretch then starts to move in towards the top of the shoulder. Might even notice a stronger stretch around the back of the arm if there's a lot of tension there into the back of the shoulder. Breathe. And then gently let that right arm go. Just give your shoulders a little roll round, and we're going to swap our feet over if we're in that easy seated position. So just crossing the right foot in and the left foot in. So take the right hand down. Inhale, reach the left arm up. And as you exhale, lean over to the right. So that right arm there is there for support. You can take as much weight through it as you feel you need to. Opening through the side body. Take a big breath into that left side. And then as you exhale, bring yourself up to sitting. Releasing the left hand down, and we're going to exhale, twist to the right. So again, see if you can look over your right shoulder. Breathe into the belly. Just working all around the spine, the chest, stomach muscles, the internal organs in the stomach. And then we're going to exhale, bring ourselves forwards towards the right knee. So just watch that left hip, the left sit bone stays down towards the mat. As you work around, stretching with the left hip, the left lower back. And then inhale, sit yourself up. Coming back into the middle, take the left arm up, and again, watching that we don't put any pressure on that elbow joint. The hand can come either side of that elbow. Exhale, just bring that left arm across the body. Try and really keep the shoulder relaxed. Think of both armpits reaching down towards the floor. So breathe in here as you stretch through the left shoulder, the left arm. And then bring the left hand onto the right shoulder, and we're going to give ourselves a hug on the other side. So we're going to bring the left arm in towards us, sliding the left hand down the back. Changing that stretch through the left shoulder. And then release the left hand down. Give your shoulders another little roll around. And we want to straighten the legs out in front. So sitting bones on the floor. Keep the legs straight out. Give the legs a little shake out, or the ankles a little shake out if you need it. Sitting tall, relax the shoulders. And as you exhale, just bring your chest forwards towards your knees. And then see how far you can comfortably get. Take a little rock there from side to side. Feel the backs of the legs, the hamstrings getting used to the stretch. And then as you exhale, see if you can bring yourself a little bit further forwards. Take that little rock there. And then maybe as you exhale, you can bring yourself a little bit further forwards again. So just watching here that we're protecting the back. If you really need a little bend in the knees just to look after the back, you can. You can always use that cushion to sit yourself up underneath the hips. We just want to keep breathing into the backs of the legs. One more breath here. Inhaling, sitting up. And then as you exhale, rolling back down through the spine. So you can bend your knees if it helps. Just taking yourself down towards the floor. Stretch out from fingers to toes. Take that full body stretch again. And then release your hands down by your side. Bend your knees. Just bring your heels up. So just in front of the hips. And then as you exhale, we're going to turn the tailbone up to the ceiling. Just feel the lower back press into the floor. And then another breath out just to see how far you can roll up through the spine. Squeezing the hips up towards the ceiling. So a couple of big breaths in here as you stretch through the front of the body, and then exhale. Release it down towards the floor. So we're going to take the arms out to the side and just give the knees a little roll one way. Exhaling as they come to the other side. Perhaps let the head roll from side to side so you look away from the knees. And then come back into the middle. Hug the knees up in towards your chest. Take another little rock with the knees here. And then release the feet down towards the floor. Find a comfortable position to lie in on the mat again. So cushion under the head if you need it. Keep the knees bent, or maybe just sliding the feet away from you so they come towards the corners of your mat. Turn your palms up to the ceiling, close your eyes. Take a couple of big breaths in here. Having a little sigh. But just using that sigh to let any last tension dissolve from the body. And then let the breath come back to normal. I'm just going to lay here for a moment. Just feeling the body relax back to the floor, the mind switched off as you rest and recover. And then gently start to move your fingers and your toes again, your hands and your feet. Floating your arms back past your head, give yourself a quick stretch. Inhale, and then as you exhale, rolling onto your left hand side, just pulling the knees up towards you. Finding that fetal position for a moment. And then from there, push yourself up and round so you can come to sitting back on your mat. Just finding any way of sitting that feels comfortable again. Relaxing your shoulders. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale. Bring your hands to your centre and just bow your head to your fingers. Congratulate yourself on your effort on the mat today. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. Well, thank you and well done for flowing today. I hope you enjoyed that nice, easy, slow flow. Please like the video and remember to give me any comments below if you feel, or questions if there's anything that you wanted to ask about. And subscribe to the channel so that you can keep up to date with the rest of our video again for another video soon.